To infinity and beyond. Oh. Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Ben Falcons Media Corner back again with a brand new AK Afro Soul review episode for today. This is going to be my review on the newest film that just came out for 2022, which this one just came out today around the globe. And I just saw this movie a couple of hours ago, and I'm here to give you guys my views on this, my personal views on this new release. And this is the newest film from one of my favorite animation studio of all time, which is Pixar. And this is also the Pixar film that's finally in cinemas. Yes! And this is now one, and thank God this one is not skipping cinemas, just goes straight to Disney Plus like the last three films did, which were supposed to be theatrically released, but of course they went to Disney Plus, which were Soul, Luca, and Turning Red. So anyway, let's get into my reviews on this new release. So this is going to be my review on the 2022 computer animated sci-fi action adventure film, and this is of course my review on Lightyear. This was directed by Angus, MacLane, co-director of Finding Dory, and this is an origin story of one of Pixar's most beloved characters they've ever developed in history, which is of course Buzz Lightyear, which in this movie he's now voiced by Tim Allen, that we all know and love from the Toy Story movies. In here he's voiced by Chris Evans. Yep, Captain America himself is voicing Buzz Lightyear in this movie. And so we see his story on how he became how he became this legendary space ranger. And basically he was set on this mission, which unfortunately during this whole mission he made time speed up, and for years it's made everyone age except him, and even his closest friend Isiah, who was growing old by the time. And Buzz tries to make sure the mission is more successful, but what ends up happening is that during the mission he meets these new people who like sort of new recruits to his team, in which they form together as a team in this movie, which consists of these three other characters. Izzy, voiced by Keke Palmer, Mo, voiced by Taika Waititi, and Darby, voiced by Dale Sohn. And also Buzz gets accompanied by his robot companion, which is a cat named Socks, voiced by Sohn. And basically these characters join along with Buzz Lightyear, and they have to go on this mission to basically stop this new evil villain, which is of course the evil Emperor Zurg, who is voiced by James Brolin, who's basically a threat to the planet. And basically Buzz and his team have to do whatever they can to basically stop him, and hopefully they can blow up the ship so he won't cause any more problems to any other planets. So that's pretty much the story of Lightyear. Now for Lightyear, of course, I was really anticipating for this movie way back in 2021 when the first trailer dropped by. From when I first saw it, I was really excited for this movie because of the way it looked. And of course, you know, I love Buzz Lightyear. He's one of my favorite characters from Pixar they've ever developed in history, alongside like Woody and other characters who I absolutely adore from Pixar from when it comes to their movies. And for the cast in this movie, I was really surprised with the cast you've got in this movie. You've got Chris Evans, who voices Buzz Lightyear, which there was a little bit of controversy on the internet about that, when people thought that Tim Allen was going to still play as Buzz in this film, but he's not in this film. I wasn't that bothered by it, but I was still looking forward to seeing what Chris Evans can do for being, you know, this iconic character that we all know and love from Pixar. And I started hearing like a few other people who I knew who were going to be in this movie when there was more stuff that were promoting this movie, like new trailers and stuff for this movie. You've got Keke Palmer, which I think she's talented. Taika Waititi, he's really funny. And Sohn, which he has done a Pixar film as a director before, which was of course The Good Dinosaur, which I enjoyed the movie, but it's not my favorite Pixar film. It's probably I'd say it's one of their weakest films, but it still is a good movie. And he also has done a voice work before in the past, which was of course Ratatouille. He has the voice of Emile, which he's a really funny character in Ratatouille. So I was looking forward to seeing what he can do for his character in this movie, which in this movie he voices, of course, this robot cat, Socks. I was looking forward to seeing this character on the big screen. And And like I said, and I was worried, and I was hoping this film was not going to skip cinemas entirely, like the last three Pixar films did, because, you know, Soul, Luca, and Turning Red did. And I was hoping this one would do the same thing again. And then when I heard it was going to stay in cinemas, I was really happy, because I was dying to see another Pixar film on the big screen, because the last film I saw was Onward, which I thought was a great movie. And so I went to see this today on the 17th of June, and my screening wasn't really that packed, because it was kind of quiet, and plus the day was so hot, because it's June, man, because when June starts, you know it's gonna get really hot and all that. And it was starting to get, and it was a really hot day for me when I went to see it. But after walking out of Lightyear, I definitely had a great time with Lightyear. This is definitely another great Pixar film, but I wouldn't say this is my favorite Pixar film of all time, but it still is a great movie. What can I say about the animation in this film? The animation all around this film is spectacularly something to look at, for the character designs, the whole set designs, and the details and the textures and everything like that. Pixar, for doing that in the most recent films, they've just gone better and better. And this whole film looks also visually stunning to look at, for its direction from Angus MacLane, which he did a terrific job of directing this film, for making this film being, you know, a fun space ride of a film. And the voice work in the film, Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear, he's great in the film. He's really, really good in this film. Although Tim Allen, I still prefer Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story films, but still though, Chris Evans, he's still great in this movie. And as for other cast in the film, Keke Palmer, she's pretty good in this movie as Izzy. Taika Waititi as Mo, he's really funny in this movie. And Dale Soul as Darby, she was pretty good in this movie too. And James Brolin as Zurg, he was pretty good in the movie, pretty good as well in this film. But Peter Sohn, who voices Socks, who's the robot cat in this film, he is the biggest show stealer here in this movie. He's just super cute, and he's really, really funny in this film. And every time he's on screen, I just can't stop laughing my ass off for the lines of dialogue he says whenever he's interacting with Buzz or the team. And as for the other voice cast in the film, they were also good too in the film. And the action sequences in this film are really exciting to watch. So seeing, you know, Buzz as a human rather than being, you know, a toy doing some action in this film. And those scenes in the film are also directed well by Angus MacLane. And it's very well paced as well for its hour and 45-minute mark. And there was not a single moment that felt dull or draggy or boring or anything. There was nothing like that. It's just paced super well done. But the complaints I do have with this film is that while the story is great about the whole origin story of Buzz, it's really fascinating. But I kind of felt this film felt like a bit of a tribute to Buzz Lightyear before we were introduced to him in the first Toy Story film as a toy. It just kind of felt that way to me. But still, though, the story is really good here. And for its emotional strength in the film, there was one that did get me in the film that did have the floodgates open, but I just kind of felt some of the emotional strength of the film, I just didn't think they were that strong enough to me. But still, though, they weren't bad. They were still good, but I just didn't think they were that strong enough to me. And also, this film did face another controversy other than Chris Evans being cast as Lightyear. It was one that's been talked about in recent. It's been talked about all over the internet and all that. And it's even before the film was released to the general public and all that, because this was played in a few press screenings and all that. It's something to do with gay romance with Isiah, which I kind of found, which made parents a bit outraged and all that, and made a few, like 14 countries like banning this film from all that, which I don't see what's the big deal with all that, because there was nothing wrong with all that. Because for kids shows like, say, Adventure Time or Arthur, which those had kind of like gay stuff to it, there was no problem with all that. Because like some kids channels like Disney Channel, Cartoon Network, they have support for that community and all that, and it should make kids understand about all that. But for parents being outraged from all that, for making parents outraged over this in this film, as well as some like countries are banning this film, I kind of think it's just too much. I think that's just way too much from all that, and it's just, I guess it's just like making some people, and I guess some people still kind of homophobic about all this, even though I'm a supporter of that community, because most of my close friends who I talk to are part of that community. And I'm a big supporter from all that, which they're really proud of me from all that. But from hearing that in Lightyear, I don't see what the big deal is. But when I first saw it, it didn't even bother me. And plus, it's not throughout the whole film. It's just mentioned briefly in this film. You just see it briefly in this film. It's not throughout the whole film. That's not a big deal, really. But still, though, in the end, guys, Lightyear, it's definitely a great Pixar film. But I wouldn't say this is my favorite Pixar film of this year, because personally I still say Turning Red still is the best one. But it still is a great film, and I still had a great time with it. It was such a fun film, and if you're a massive fan of this character like I am, or you're a fan of the cast like Chris Evans or Taika Waititi, you'll definitely have a great time with this one. If it is playing a local cinema near you, definitely take your children to see this one, because kids will definitely have a really great time watching Lightyear. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Lightyear. I'm going to give Lightyear 4 out of 5. Despite having 2 complaints with this film, I still had a lot of fun with this one. And it's definitely another good animated film of the year, but it's not my number 1 favorite or anything, but I still had a lot of fun with it. And for that controversial moment that's already been talked about on the internet about the whole gay romance stuff in it, again, I just don't see what's the big deal from all of that, because I don't know, because again, for recent years, there's been a lot of support from all that, from like kids channels and stuff like that. So I just don't see what's the big deal from all of that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching for my AKF Soul review on Lightyear. Let me know what you think of this film if you have just recently seen this film. Did you have a blast of it, or were you very disappointed with this? So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews. And as always, this is Ben Falcon's Media Corner saying to infinity and beyond.